We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Stephen Jack Putala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode 1981, and today we are talking about first our year-end checklist for our land business, and then a little bit later in the show, the biggest challenges we think we're going to face in 2024.
I just realized we were talking this morning and I put notes on my phone and screenshots of some things. Should I have those with me now? Because I don't.
No.
Okay, good.
No, Joe.
All right.
Just sit there and look pretty.
Okay, good. I made notes. You're like, oh, you got to bring this up. And I'm like, oh, sure. And then I totally forgot. Anyway, we're all good.
Each week on the show, we answer questions from our Land Academy member Discord forum. We review land acquisitions from our weekly member webinars, and we take a deep dive into 2 land-related topics by popular request.
By the way, too, if you want to know more about Land Academy, please just drop my team a note at support@landacademy.com. Or if you go on our website, go to landacademy.com. There's a place right on there you could schedule a call with Christopher, and he will fill you in.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here's the question. Stacy wrote, what is the most recent adjustments you guys have made in your land business to the new real estate market we are in? Love it.
That's a very interesting question. You know what the point is here? I love this question. We're constantly making adjustments. I think that there's a sentiment maybe that's like, not just with the land business, but anything in life where there's this huge learning curve, then there's this period of reward, and then it's like, you can pat yourself on the back and you've made it. I've never experienced that third phase.
So funny. You're always in the third phase. You just don't even know it. It's hilarious. How, really? Seriously? What are you running around doing like crazy right now? Not a lot of anything.
Well,
packing for a trip, planning some overland adventures. What else you got?
True.
See, like, you don't even know you're in the third phase, and you've been there for quite some time,
Spent a bunch of time on the podcast today.
Okay, that's good. There. Well, you work today.
You know what?
We'll
This ties into what we're going to talk about today. Look, what we're actually working on for year-end stuff, year-end checklists, and all of it.
What's funny is I'm in other Facebook groups, and I've seen this theme in other, not even land groups, but like other, let's just say general real estate investor groups that I'm in. And people it's funny, I'm watching them pivot to things we've been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
And one of them was someone pivoting from house flipping to not doing the remodel. I'm like, hello, we stopped doing that years ago, and they're just catching up. And the comment was something along the lines of, I don't suck at buying them kind of thing. And now I'm just reselling them to somebody else because I'm not hitting my numbers. The margins aren't there for me right now. If I buy a house in the old day, the person would pull the dumpster up front, and do the whole remodel and flip it.
That was like 4 months ago.
I know, right? And they're like, now I'm like, I've got this inventory and the numbers aren't working out for me. That was the whole discussion. The numbers aren't panning out. If I go do this whole remodel and I hold it for this many months and I'm paying these fees, and heaven forbid, what if it doesn't sell fast enough? They're like, I'm just selling and moving on right now. I'm like, that's a huge pivot for those people.
What Stacy's referring to here in this question is the same thing I think Jill is getting to. There's components. So what's changed? I mean, she says this new real estate market we're in. The new real estate market that we're in is one of interest rates. So for years and years and years, we've enjoyed virtually no real material interest rates, which is not the norm. And so if you're a super young person, you might think, and correctly so, you might, because it's all you've ever been exposed to.
It should
what
be 3%.
What is this interest rate thing? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean have to pay to borrow money?
The fact is, we are in what I think, after doing this for 30 years or so, the norm.
Yeah.
We're in a normal situation where CD rates are 5%, mortgage rates are 8%. It costs money to borrow money. And so in a purest accounting form. I'll try not to make this boring. When you go loan money, you are charged an interest rate. If you borrow $100,000 and your interest rate's 8%, you're going to pay $8,000 a year in interest in the simplest form. And that is a tax. It's an actual expense. And so in your payment for that $100,000, you have interest and principal. Principal is the actual $100,000 that you're paying back over the life of the loan. And the interest is, of course, the interest, what I just said. And principal, it's not an expense. You're just paying it back. Interest is. What it does is seriously mess with your cash flow. The higher the interest rate is, the more the more you are being put to the test to make whatever you're borrowing this money, put it to work. In our case, it's real estate.
It's one thing if it's your primary residence. Well, first of all, no one's really borrowing $100,000. They're really borrowing $500,000. This is getting expensive.
I'm trying to make this easy.
But why? We're smart here. You don't need to. So, well, I am too.
Jill, that's how quick it was for Jill to get bored.
Nope.
Because I wasn't even close.
No, I want some real numbers.
Really make my point.
Oh, I want some real numbers, sir.
All right.
That's my thing. I'll get my little point out of the way, and you can go back to yours, and we can spend all day on it if you want.
$500,000 loan is going to cost you $40,000 a year.
Right. So if it's my primary residence or whatever it is, maybe I can wrap my head around this, right? Maybe. Because, and I'm going to live here forever. I'm going to die here. Some people are like that. I'm buying it. This is it. This is where we're going to be, raising our family, doing it one time. And that's just the cost of it. Okay. But for people who are in the business and you're doing house flips and things like that, boy, it gets expensive really fast. Think about 8% times $500,000, and you've got 3 or 4 of them going at a time because you're smart.
I would choose quality of life over money. I mean, money over quality of life. So Jill's like, maybe I can justify. Yeah, I'm not going to justify that. I'll go live in a hole.
He always picks money
free.
First.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm a cost center. Or not a cost center. I'm a revenue center. I'm a profit center. Excuse me. I said that wrong. I'm not the cost center.
I think you're supposed to describe yourself as a profit center. I think you're supposed to let other people do it.
Well, I'm going to do it today.
So the good news is we are all in this equally together.
Right.
I'm not achieving some better interest rate than you are. I'm subject to the quality of my transaction, and that's my real point here. She's asking, what are the adjustments that you're making in your land business to respond to this new market you're in? Number one, and this didn't happen by accident, we are not subject to interest rates in the land investment business. None of us. We buy for cash and sell for cash. There's a possibility that there's certain subtypes of land that might be subject to interest payments when we go sell it. It's doubtful. I'm trying to think if we did any deals this year where our buyers.
Yeah, I've had buyers finance
this year,
but not a lot. Very few. Totally have buyers financing. I've got one right now, and you know what though? I don't care. They're building on it. They're going to love on it. That's their thing. But it's not that many. And again, it's on the sell side, so it doesn't apply to me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, this is what Jill earlier alluded to. If you are in the cog of hard money financing because you're redoing a house, you're in not a good position. You do not want to be in a situation where you are borrowing money, especially on a monthly basis. Jeez. And it's taken you a few more months to sell the property,
right? Because
of the market that we're in, or possibly got stuck between real low interest rates and now what I think are normal interest rates, and you're paying interest on that. It's going to eat into your profit in a real serious way.
Yeah.
And so, how are we adjusting? We are expanding our land funding business pretty dramatically, and it's, as are many people in our group. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the huge. We don't talk about it that much, but funding deals is a huge difference between Land Academy and all the other schmoes out there that think that they know how to buy and sell land and teach it, I should say. Huge difference. The level of sophistication and the amount of money that is in this group that's available to do your deals, to make sure you are not subject to this interest rate situation. Mm-hmm. it impresses me even.
I agree.
So constant adjustment, that's what we're doing. To answer your question, we are constantly adjusting to the new market. And then if you're now going to buy houses, let's say rural houses, because of how fantastic the internet coverage is in this country, and because there's a lot of work from home more than ever, that seems like it's never going to go away, and you're paying cash, you're putting yourself into a major competitive situation. Mm-hmm. You know what it is?
What?
You know what it is about you? I was thinking about this morning. Uh-oh. Before we move on to the topic. For some, because Jill and I were talking about, we're just listing topics to talk about today, because we're recording more than one episode. And you gravitate toward the positivity. And I don't mean like in a silly way, but no matter what's going to happen in the market, you're going to make it work for you.
Oh, I'll figure it out.
And me too. And
I'll come up with something.
That usual to run into people like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm saying this because you listener, I really believe that if you're going to make some changes in 2024, no matter what the environment is, I don't care what environment you're in from a real estate economy standpoint, you can make it work. Mm-hmm. You have to change. You can't do the same old thing and expect it to work. You have to adjust to whatever's happening out there, but you can make it work. Mm-hmm. High interest rates are a massive asset for us because we're not subject to it.
Exactly.
If you're flipping houses, it's really bad.
Yeah.
It's going to break. At some point, it will break a marginal deal. Today's first topic, our year-end checklist for our land business. Here's some stuff I jotted down.
Okay.
What's the first thing that I do? Like, this is December, so we have 30 days. Mm-hmm. What's my taxable income? And what can I change between now and the end of the year to reduce that? Everybody usually gets new computers in December.
Oh, that's funny.
and stuff like that. How do we do this year? I literally take my December 1st cash balance in our operational account and look at it against our, January 1st, 2023, and look at it against December 1st. I just did it.
Okay.
And we're millions of dollars in the black. And so that exactly. Exactly.
I don't like that.
So my first gut reaction is great.
Get rid of it.
Did what we're supposed to do. We've got to address it. And the fact is, I do this all year anyway.
I know.
What I don't look at is how my mailers did yield wise. I just look at the cash. The money that we spend on mailers comes out of that same bank account, as does everything. Our salaries, our people's salaries, all of it. So if it's black and it's,
Did you ever care about your mailer yield?
Not after the first 5 deals.
Yeah.
No.
That's what happens.
Cost of data, all that stuff's in there. And if we're generating a bunch of money,
when you're
good.
When you sit back, the point I think Jack's making here is when you sit back and go, oh, I made 100,000 this month and 125 this month and then 75 the next month and everything, you stop going, how did that one mailer do? And my data cost me $4,000 recently. Big whoop. You don't really care at that point.
The land business in general on the internet, including our Discord channel, depending on what day you look at it and how much attention you give to each entry, is riddled with comments like this. I sent 2,300 units out.
Oh yeah.
I got 10 hate calls. 3 people called me back, and I have 1 property under contract.
Congrats.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was going to rain money on me. Oh. I thought I was going to push a few buttons and it would rain money. So mailer yield and checking those responses. Look, if you are set up mentally to recklessly send out mail, you will win in this business. You will win. You might have to send 10,000 out on average to get a hot property. You might have to send 2,000. You might have to send 25,000 out. The numbers still work. They're staggering. Staggeringly in our favor.
Yeah.
But yet that just never goes away for whatever reason.
People just don't. I sound like a broken record, but it's true. The folks that are killing it are heavy mailers. That's it. They don't care.
I also I mentally look at, this is just dollars wise, because Joe's probably gonna have some other stuff to say from a people standpoint. But this is all money. All I look at is money. And so I know what the best deals are and the worst deals are. The worst deals are the ones we still own. The best deals are the ones where, geez, we owned that for 30 days and, made a few $100,000 on it. So we have a few of those this year in a real good way. And then, which leads me, we have a bunch of property that's still for sale. Why would property still be for sale?
Because they're bucket 3 and Jack won't let me dump them.
That's correct. So check your balance sheet. Check your balance sheet for non-cash items. I don't mean the money that you've made. I mean the properties that maybe you fell in love with them. Maybe you bought them and said, you know what? I might own this for 5 years, but I'm selling it for retail. We have a bunch of properties like that. The only reason that Jill and I have any properties that we still own is because I get in the way.
Yep.
And say,
100%.
I'm not about doing a deal on this. It's not about the money anymore. It's about, this is a great piece of property and we're just going to wait for the right buyer to find it.
Mm-hmm. Or not, because I secretly hope I get to keep it. That's what's really going on.
And then
That's why
finally,
don't go look at your property.
My final entry on the year-end checklist is I take Jill's happiness temperature.
Hilarious.
It's
For real?
December 5th. Yeah, it's December 5th. Is she happy? Is she overworked? Do we take enough freaking trips? Because that's super high on Jill's list. We're going to Colorado for Christmas this year. And so, that's a huge factor. I think actually you're pretty happy.
We usually go to Colorado for Christmas now. That's kind of a theme. I like it.
Are you happy?
I'm very happy. Thank you.
Okay, good.
I'm a little overworked, but I'm very happy. Just kidding. Can I talk about my list?
Yes, please.
Okay, so my list for, year-end checklist. Well, the reason I wanted to talk about this today was not really a year-end checklist, like money-wise, account-wise, balance-wise. No, I know. I'm thinking about what should I be thinking about at the end of the year? And it's on my mind because people are asking, do I take a trip? Do I shut down my land business at the end of the year? Heck no. My point, I have, really one point to make, which is deals are still happening. You should still be sending out mail. You should still be buying property. You should still be selling property. Every year, there's a home run for me at the end of the year.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that says, man, if you could get this done between now and the 31st, Jill, so I can cash out in 2023 and have this out of my life for my accounting purposes, you can have it for X, fill in the blank. And it's like, oh, we'll get this done. And I can, and I do. So that's my main thing. Don't start thinking about closing up shop yet, or not answering your phone or even not sending out mail, because I'm going to argue you're going to miss some great stuff.
Yeah.
You could miss a home run at the end of the year. And you know what's even better about it? It's like, it's a get it bought home run. So it does two purposes. One, it gets some of the money out of my account, right? That I'm going to sell in 2024, makes him happy and solves a problem for that seller. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people, who knows what they're trying to qualify for next year? Who knows what their financial situation is? Maybe their mortgage is getting out of hand right now. Because you know what? Pretty soon we're going to be having more and more people where they're 3%, which was an adjustable after X amount of time. Oh, that's coming. Those situations are going to start to reset, and they're going to get higher interest payments and higher house payments. And they're not going to get rid of their house. That's where they put their head at night. They're going to get rid of some land and some other things that they don't really need anymore. So have cash ready and really pay attention to your phone, the calls that come in between now and the end of the year. That's what we do.
Yeah, don't stop. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't. We never stop. Mm-mm. Like, not even we just don't stop. And I think that's a good personality trait to have. Think about this, and we'll move on here in a second. How much control do we have? How much control do we have over the financial position that we're in?
A lot.
We have a ton of control.
Yeah.
We decide what we buy, what we sell, for how much, both of those things. Mm-hmm. No one's putting a gun to our head saying you have to do 10 acquisitions.
You know what? And with your red, yellow, green test, and I know the days on market in areas, I kind of know when it's going to sell. I can even follow the trends, and I know in different months or different times of year how quickly things are going to move.
I'm talking about, I don't know about you, listener, but I know where I've been career-wise in my career. And I have not been in a situation very many times where I have almost complete control over my financial security.
Yeah.
And it's the nature of this business. Again, this isn't by accident. I don't buy bad land deals, neither does Joe.
Nope.
And we don't sell them for prices that we don't want to sell them for.
Correct.
But you know what I control? Where I send mail. And then there's a slight risk in, I don't know exactly how many properties we're going to buy in this mailer. One would be good. That's what I kind of really expect. 1 unit per mailer. Total control. If you are a surgeon, you're doing a bunch of stuff today you do not want to do. If you're a pipe fitter, same thing. If you're a grocery store owner, same thing. We just have huge control in this business. We can do this from anywhere. Let's take a look at one of our favorite land acquisitions from our weekly Thursday member webinar.
Beaufort County, North Carolina. Buy for 32, sell for 70. I love these numbers. 4.27 acres. Everything's a yes. Now, this is a little note. Part of the property has been used for farming in the past and was logged around 20 years ago. I like that too. Huh. Does Minnie own anything else nearby here or just the one?
Way cheaper than it is.
Will you toggle back for me real quick? I want to see in the parcel fact. Thank you. I want to see ownership on the ones there. Nope. All different. Oh, now that's a pot. That name came up before. Interesting.
I would dig in with the county and find out, this is the target property.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
And what the setbacks are and can you build on it and is it usable? It's also in the middle of solar, solar
The person
fields.
who owns this one owns this one. Isn't that kind of funny? So they sold this, didn't sell, sold this,
Maybe.
didn't sell
Yeah.
that, sold these. Like, okay. Did you do a Google Earth?
Yeah.
Did we get down there? Okay.
Passes all the tests except for portable.
Okay, wait. What's my play here?
Can you build on it? Can you use
That's
it?
Am I going to hunt on it? No. Am I going to put a 7-Eleven on it? No.
Mm-mm.
Am I going to, what's the recreation use? Not really seeing that. So I may
Farming and
put a house.
potential residential or logging.
Right.
0.86 for 24. There's 17 properties listed and 32 sold in the last 12 months. Some of those are HOA. There's 24,000 for an acre. You're buying 4 acres for 32,000. You need to get it for half of that,
That's the
less than half. After you determine that you can use it how you think it should be used, which is, I think, residential, agriculture, logging, and that's it. But it seems overpriced.
What do you guys think?
I think it's overpriced.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the end of the year. Offers to owners is busier than ever in December.
That's true.
And then in January. December and January are huge months because everybody's,
Getting mail out.
they're expensing things too. They're prepaying for mailers and they're getting mail out.
And they're motivated. This is it.
And it's like they're setting themselves up for 2024. So
Yeah.
check it out. Offers the number 2 owners.com. It's Jill and I 100% own. It's the result of us being frustrated with other commercial mailing companies. So we started our own.
Correct.
Go get your mailer out.
I was going to say too about mail right now, you want to buy stuff in the colder, like if you're going to do some beautiful, summertime, fill in the blank, Rockies, any state that has, the Rocky Mountains in it, properties, you want to buy them when they're buried in snow and then sell them for a great price in May.
Seasonality is real. Jill's right.
That's another reason why there's a lot of mail happening right now. So that's really good.
Let's take another question posted by one of our members on the Land Academy Discord online community.
Ed wrote, has anyone had any success with properties with no physical access? Have you been successful getting access and was it worth the hassle? How about success selling it to a neighbor? I'm getting quite a few and I hate to see them go to waste, but don't want to waste my time either.
access, access, access. You know, we have the 8 A's now. The due diligence short list of phase 1 due diligence is 8 A's. I'll let you go. You can just
Look those up later.
One of the first one is access. Can we get to it? This has been and will be forever an issue. In some, has anyone had success with properties with no physical access? Hell yes, Jill just solved one just now.
Yeah.
We're just about closed on it on the south side. Have we been stuck with properties that have no access? No. Here's why. We buy them. We still buy accessless properties for next to nothing. Access can be a great friend of yours, and lack of access. If you there's very often on a Thursday call, somebody will present would you do this deal? We'll look at it. It's a buy for 30, sell for 60, and it doesn't have any access at all, physical or legal. And what our answer is 9 times out of 10, don't kill a deal, but just offer them $5,000.
It always depends. Depends on the property. What else is going on? Is that the last thing? Is it possible? Do you have physical and not legal? You know, there's all kinds of variables to it. So that's like, I can't give you one straight answer, Ed. If you're brand new and you're worried about it and you're really not sure, move on. Save it. Push it aside, get to it later when you have some stuff figured out. I don't want you to spend all your time on this trying to solve something. I'd rather you work on the next phone call or the next letter you open might have great access and they're ready to go. So I would spend time on that. But you can solve this stuff. And you know what, Ed, you're a member, so you know this group. I'm sure everybody's already saying, okay, where is it? Yeah. Well, I'm just going to tell you right now, bring it up in the Thursday call because we'll physically, as you know, we will physically look at it with you. We'll pull it up so we can all see it and talk about it and say, okay, here's what I see for physical. Looks like it stops here. And then you could say, yep, that's what I found too. And then we could say, have you got a plat map? Let's look at that. Oh, okay. And we can work through it together with you. It's hard to answer. You can't blanket answer it here. Depends.
People get physical and legal access to properties that have never had access all the time.
You sure can.
The question is, what kind of business do you want to have? We are at a point in our career where we only do slam dunk land deals. That's the truth.
Right.
It was,
high dollar.
When I was at the beginning of my career, it was exactly the opposite. I did every single deal that was $100 an acre or less.
Yeah.
I never looked at it. I didn't look at the property. And that resulted in a lot of property that didn't have any access, but it was so cheap.
Yeah.
It was so cheap on the south side, my south side, people had to buy it. And so in every market, there's somebody, he's usually an older retired guy who knows how to get access to properties in a local market because they know the county, they know the cities, they know everybody who works there. And he has years. Too. Yeah, exactly.
They can.
Years of experience finessing his way through these municipalities to get access to properties and finessing himself to neighboring. You got to go through somebody else's property to get to yours. And so if you can finesse yourself with those people, those landowners, you're going to do great at this. You just have to decide. This is a career. You have to decide what your career is.
You know what? I'll tell you too, Ed. I personally don't, but I want to know if it's possible for my buyer. So a good broker is going to be able to say, you know what, Ed? I know that area. It's going to cost about $2,000. If you can get one of the neighbors to say, okay, it's going to cost about $2,000 for it to get all done and take about 6 months, kind of thing. They'll know, and you're going to go, okay. Got it. That's what I needed.
Today's second topic is, Jill and I are going to share the biggest challenges we think we're going to face in 2024.
Oh, I already got one.
Go ahead. I do too.
Spending money. Think I'm kidding?
No, I know you're.
No, that's what's happened. This is a common thing. It seems like every year in our world, and it's not just us, it's so many people in Land Academy, right around September, October, we deplete our inventory and we panic because we've sold everything. Seriously, summer months, things are beautiful, people are out, loving the land, there's not buried in snow, so we all run out of property, right? So I'm like, doggone it. So every year, I swear, we talk to, Like, we need to buy more. So coming into 2024, my biggest concern is how much can I buy?
That's exactly what this is number one on my list.
Want to spend flipping money. I want to load up on inventory. And I don't care if it's mine or yours or ours. So that's the whole thing too. Spending money on inventory is not just our personal inventory, but happy to deal fund like a crazy person. So that's really what I want to do. That's my biggest. What's yours?
Well, that was it. There are a few more, there's offshoots of that. So how do you do that? Let's deconstruct it for a second. How do you spend more money, place more equity is what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And placing equity is it's been going on Wall Street and Palo Alto forever. Placing equity is the biggest problem that a rich person has. And private equity has. I have all this money. I don't want to make 5% in a CD, which I don't understand because that's typically what we do. I have all this cash. You got to place it. You have a couple choices. You can send a lot more mail out. You have a control is my point. You send more mail out and send it out better. Learn how to price it better. Learn how to do the red, green, yellow test even better than you did it in 2023. Number 2, add product types. Rural houses are going to be the future. They're affordable. If you work from home, especially if you work in the land business, geez, you should be in a rural market, not in an urban area. And so expand your product type and send more mail out. Those are 2 very, very controllable things. Mm-hmm. And that's how you place more equity.
I love it. I'm trying to think of any other challenges I have in 2024. I got new products I want to do.
That's our land business. That's correct.
Challenge.
And Jill's going to launch landgals.com.
We're working on that. Yeah.
So it's an investment group, land investment group for women.
Ooh. Won't that be fun?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm trying to think of the challenges though in 2024. I was thinking about this a lot as we were talking, earlier. I'm like, do I have any staffing issues? Not in my land business. Can I process deals fast enough? Yep. Do I have the right people in place? Yep. Do I have good title companies and good brokers and everybody I work with? Yep. I'm like, I don't have any holes, if you will, there, which is like, not a lot of people can say that. When I was thinking about it, I'm like, I got nothing. I feel like if someone says, how's your day? I don't have anything to complain about. Like, it's great. Why? How's your day? I don't have to commute. I'm thinking about where we're going to go next. And
kids are out of the house.
We're going to do. Yeah. Kids aren't here, I already bought my own Christmas present that's going under the tree, and it's phenomenal, by the way. You killed it this year.
Oh my God. Just December just started and
I'm done.
You're done shopping for yourself.
Almost done. Yeah. Got to get you a few more things, but that's easy. I don't know. I don't like biggest challenges for 20. That's just it. When, I was thinking about this too. How great is this feeling that you must have personally, Jack? Because let's just take a step back. You started doing this in 1990, whatever, and I'm not meaning to age you, but please tell me how. Were you 30?
It was 1994. No, so
29.
In my 20s.
Okay, you're in your 20s. You were in your 20s when you figured this whole thing out. So you and I've been with you doing
early 20s
stuff for 15 years now, going on 15 years. So for 15 years, I have slept so well. Can say I've been my own boss and in control of everything. I haven't had a W-2 and I will never have a W-2 again. And I just don't think about it. And here we are helping all these people. It's so nice. We're going on 2014. So, technically 10 years of Land Academy's inception, even though 9 years that we launched it. But
it's 10 years. Yeah. Next year, it's 10 years.
Well, we launched in 2015.
Well,
but we started it in 2014.
Filming and planning and all of that, yeah.
Exactly.
It's 10 years, Joe.
10 years. All right. But I mean, we've definitely been helping people for 10 years. That's for sure. It wasn't called Land Academy before that. So it's just amazing. I was thinking about this because I'm like, gosh, how cool is this? There are some people in our world that are in their 20s and in their 30s, and they never have to think about this stuff anymore. Isn't that the greatest?
Yeah.
That they've come along and found us at that age, and we've been able to coach them and help them and get them to this point where they're like, life is set.
Let's turn this around for a second before we move on.
Okay.
If you were brand new, well, because we were all new at this at one point, what would be the challenges that you would face next year?
If I was brand new.
Yeah, if you had like 4 deals under your belt.
If I was brand new, it would just be how fast it would be time. If I was brand new and I'm young, I'd have to make sure that I either didn't have much on my calendar, like maybe hopefully, not to pick on people, but if I wasn't married and didn't have kids, it would be a lot easier.
Picking on somebody.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're in that situation,
Here, let me help. Don't get married and don't have any children.
Hold on a moment. Maybe you're already there. Maybe you're 35 and you're like, well, I've been that ship sailed. I have 2 little kids and I'm married. So what do? All right, I clear my calendar of everything else. Maybe my only thing on my calendar is my family and my work. I am not thinking about this. I'm not thinking about that. I'm not doing this, not doing that. And my wife and I have had a conversation. Baby, I need to put my head down for 5 years. I know you want to go do this. I know you want to go do this, but stick with me. If we do this for 5 years, we put our heads down, probably less.
You know, Joe, we just had that conversation 5 years ago.
We did, and we did it.
I know.
Exactly. And we did it. It
10 years ago,
it was more than, but it was Land Academy years.
Ago, yeah.
It was really Land Academy years. We put our heads down and said, we're going to really work hard, not take trips we wanted to. And you guys have followed us and know, like, come on, how many years of Land Academy, those of you who've been with us this whole time, we weren't taking any trips. We were really head down, working hard, and working hard, doing our own deals and helping you get ramped up. So my thing is, so you asked me at that age, what would I do? And that would be it. I watched people a long time ago. I remember this person, I know I've said this story before, that I was in my 20s and he was saving up for a car. And this guy would only go out like once a week and only spend so much money. He was like a friend of ours. I'm like, Greg. I'm like, what's up with Greg? Greg's kind of boring. Greg never goes where guy only has a couple beers. He's like really kind of not social. Like, why is this car so flippin' important? Because Greg was saving up to pay cash for a car. And then you know what? A year later, Greg shows up in this nice car and I'm like, and it's paid cash and it's like, he hit that goal. And I'm like, I kind of get it. I understand that now. I'm like, I wasn't kind of nuts,
In 2014, Jill and I had this exact conversation. What is our biggest challenge? And then, and I realize now, it always has been my biggest challenge, with the exception of now, because we solved it, is raising private equity, raising capital. And our answer to raising acquisition capital was to start Land Academy so we can have a bunch of real estate partners to go do land deals. We didn't have to go out and get mortgages or any of that stuff. And so whatever challenge you have, that's a big, if you thumb through Bigger Pockets, a huge and type in challenge, people have real issues with raising capital for good deals.
And I'm right here.
This is us.
I'm right here.
This is why we created Land.
I feel like a broken record. I don't go in there and say that. Hello, but it's kind of funny. We're right here.
Let's take a look at another one of our favorite land acquisitions from our weekly Thursday member webinar.
So Walton County, Florida. We are at buy for 50, 49,000 to 41.76. That was the offer. They said make it 50,000. I can understand that. And Patsy thinks we can sell it for 85,000. Almost 20 acres, 17.9. It's a subdivision adjacent, a Boy Scouts of America reservation, as well as a small regional airport. Interesting. Okay, I'm liking this here. Is located to the east of the parcel. To the west is the U.S. Air Force Elgin Base. It borders Route 10, a major arterial thoroughfare. The owner's alive, the sole owner. Zoned general ag, although the parcel has a huge frontage on Route 10, which there weren't any guardrails there, were there?
No, but that's not the access. The access is here. Go ahead.
Okay, good.
No guardrails.
Doesn't appear to have any convenient legal access to that roadway, correct?
There's a cell tower easement that runs along the southeast corners of the parcel, which could be a less desirable attribute for a possible homeowner. That's okay. I got 17.8 other acres to deal with, to play with. 10 acres sold for 75,000 in 22. Days on market were 40. And there's the address. I love that.
So I like this a lot, this deal.
Well, how many flood issues are around
The
there?
question is the price. I love the frontage because I think you can sell it a lot faster.
Oh, cool.
Looks okay.
Where is that in the state? That's what I thought. I like
Up in the
this.
panhandle. That's good.
Yeah.
All comes down to price on this. It's ag. It's got
Oh.
frontage.
Good hunting conversations.
Land and hunting go hand in hand
Huh? 17.9 acres. 5 for 50.
right here. How big is it?
17.9, 20.
10 acres for 45.
That's someone she pointed out.
This isn't a comparable at all.
Oh, wait.
There's 2 properties,
10 acres for 75. You had 10 for 45. Sorry.
2 acres for sale, 6 acres sold, 6 properties for sold. So this is a tough comp.
I think it's too much money.
Very, very tough comp. It's ag. Let's try to find a house anywhere close to it. This is adjacent. Doesn't tell us. 300,000 for a house on a tiny little lot immediately adjacent to the property. Not tiny, it's 5 acres. So I love the property and I think it's very sellable, but it needs to be probably 20 grand to really sleep at night. Buy for 20, sell for 40 really fast, 45.
That's what I think.
Jill, you have something inspirational to share.
You know what? I do. I am really impressed. We have changed the way that we're doing Land Academy now. Enrollment is closed, and I'm coming at it a different way. I mentioned it a little bit before in other shows a couple weeks ago, where I really want to protect and make sure that the right people, word's out. People know about us. You know about us. So, and I don't want Land Academy 5,000. I want to keep it with this group that we're all doing amazing deals, right? So my point is, now enrollment is closed and I have a really good pre-screened group of individuals on our wait list. I'm pretty darn impressed. So for those of you who are listening who are on the wait list, sit tight. I'm gonna have some openings coming soon. I really am. So I don't know if it's maybe not by the time this airs, but we're gonna start opening up the wait list. Because you know what happens at the end of the year? Life gets in the way. And I understand that. There are times that people just like, I wasn't in the right mindset, and they leave. But you know what's funny? They come back, and I love that. And you know who you are too. I have several Land Academy members that, came at this like I got all excited, and I know what's right, and I know what you guys are doing. I didn't mean to let you down. I didn't mean to let me down, but I stopped and I'm coming back, and they do come back. But anyway, my point is I do have some openings coming up, and it's good for you guys. So my motivational point is think about what you want to do in 2024. If you want to be an investor, you could wake up tomorrow and be an investor. Reach out to my group. We'll help you. I've got everything figured out, including the money. You just need to be motivated and serious.
Everything's a constant in Land Academy is what she's saying,
Yeah.
with the exception of one thing: great real estate deals. Sometimes there's tons of them. Sometimes there's only a few. That's it.
Oh, we'll find them.
Your
though.
job is to find a great real estate deal, not to worry about money.
Yeah.
And that's it. One thing.
That's good. What about you, Jack? What do you have to share about informational for us today?
My advice to everyone, including myself, is to whatever you're going to do it with intent. You have these air on Wednesday. For next week, the week after this airs, you should intentionally fill your calendar with stuff that's going to get you where you want to be financially. And then that goes for all of 2024. You can break down all the mailers that you think you should send out, divide by 12, divide by 52, 12 months, 52 weeks, times the constant. And so 2024 could be the year that you smash it. Joe and I just wrapped up Career Path, which is the Career Path 8, I guess it was. And we had people in there that were making $6 or $7 million a year and weren't happy with that. And so we talked about, all right, what's your calendar look like? How much more mail do you need to send out? What's a single point of failure? Where do you improve? So whatever you do, please do it with intent. Don't let life happen to you. Go out there and punch it in the face.
I love that. Thank you very much. Don't forget, you can reach us for questions and for help simply by reaching out to my team via support@landacademy.com. Join us next Wednesday for another interesting episode. Buy land cheap and sell it for more on the internet. A lot more. I'll help you here.
We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.